going on, everyone? Welcome back to another TA stream here at Sin State of Crypto. My name is David. I'll be your host today, and we are currently in a BTC short trade. Well, actually, I lied. We're not currently in it, but we're about to be in it. I got a limit order set here at 80,120 for BTC. A couple things I'm looking at. I kind of shared this on the morning show. We're looking on the 15 to 21 minute, and this bear flag that's extended too much. So this is essentially, we can get rid of this. Either way, it's a pattern that breaks down. And so this is a rising channel. We know anything that rises falls down. And so that is what I have my eye on for BTC. Even as we work our way through the higher time frame, you can see we're about to get a flip of the trend here. According to Market Cipher A, obviously we know the trend has been down, but when we talk about indicators, Market Cipher A is showing us, as you can see, these bands, these moving averages, they're starting to constrict, get tight, and then they flip. Just like you see here, we're kind of in an uptrend, bands constricted, we flipped, and we got all grayed out. Okay, so grayed out, downtrend, colorful, blue, uptrend. And so that's about to happen. And then Bitcoin, kind of a psychological number, 80,000. That is what we're looking at. And again, respecting this rising channel here for BTC. And then looking at Market Cipher B here, we got an expansion of the money flow to the downside. It looks like it was shrinking. We are starting to see the VWAP start to level out. And so we expect those to come to the downside. We kind of zoom into the 15 minute. You can see that VWAP is flat. So it does want to cross below, but it's not rising either. In fact, it's more kind of tilted down. And so that would be a great trigger. One, we get that bearish crossover to the downside, at least for our short position that we're looking to fill. And so that is what I have my eye on as far as a trade for the crypto market. So what an interesting day today, huh? What an interesting day. There was some news. Now, I don't get into too much news on the trading stream because I try to do more TA and stuff. But Trump said he wants to delist Chinese companies, publicly traded Chinese companies, from the stock market. And so, I don't know. Again, not to get too much in the news, but we saw what happened with Vietnam. That's where Nike has 50,000 employees. And when Trump came out and put the reciprocal tariffs on, we saw just a day, 2 days later, Vietnam come out and say, oh, you know what? We want to make a deal. We'll cut our tariffs if you cut yours. And I don't have any confirmation, but I really think that Nike and the brass there had something to do with that. And so is Trump trying to do the same thing, applying pressure? I don't know. Maybe. Either way, I think this thing is far from over. So expect a lot more volatility in the market. So the question then becomes, how should we trade through the volatility? My thesis kind of is, to me, I look at the lower time frames and I look to scalp fast. I am looking to scalp very quickly. Ideally, you want to have your take profit levels 1, 2, 3. Some people go 4 and 5. Fine. You hit these higher levels, you get these 150, 100, 200% gains, and then you cash out, you set limit orders. But in the market we're seeing now, in the market we're in now, the amount of volatility and how it continues to expand, I would urge all of you to have tighter stop losses, be happy with a 15 to 25% move, and look to get out of the market. You see profits you're happy with, exit. You see your lower level TPs hit, take that profit and exit, because you never know. Could go in your favor and you can make 4, 5, 600%, or it can go completely against you. And a trade you're sitting in plus 20% can turn into a, hey, I just got liquidated for, however much money. And so just keep that in mind. That would be one piece of advice. But with volatility, you can make a lot of money fairly quickly if you're smart and you don't get greedy. And so that is kind of that's where my focus has been for the markets now. Also very excited. I got some music. That's why you see me wear the headphones. And so I'm going to turn the music on. We'll talk through the charts. And if you guys don't like it, tell me. I'll turn it off. If you think it's too high, volume-wise, too low, let me know. Again, the show is all about you guys. And so, we got to chill. So I handed this over to one of our audio guys. Said, hey, here's a YouTube list of music that is not copywritten. Dude, I was so scared we are going to get a copyright strike on yesterday playing that Tropic Thunder clip. So dumb. So dumb of me. We got a notification on YouTube. So here on the bottom, if there's any notifications, it'll tell you, right? And so it'll tell you excellent collection, your bit rate's low, yada, yada, yada. And so I saw your stream has been blocked due to copyright. I was like, I've never seen that. So I start panicking during the stream. And I'm signaling to Rocco, and it was a Tropic Thunder clip. So if you're ever gonna create a channel on YouTube, don't play movies. And be careful what you play, music-wise and clip-wise. So yeah. Anyways, so that was BTC. Let's take a look at the rest of the markets here. Let's throw up crypto bubbles. Let's take a look at the last 1 hour. We're seeing a little bit of a reversal in the 1 hour. Curve Dow up 4.3%. Shout out to those of you that have been stacking up on some stablecoin plays. Curve Dow is one of them. And we can actually pull up a Curve Dow chart. Looks like our short position might fill fairly soon here on BTC. Let's take a look, and I'll get into Curve here in a second. Okay, so this is the 1 minute. We're starting to see a reversal in the VWAP, and it looks like green dot here. Money flow still expanding to the upside. RSI and stochastics are almost hitting overbought levels. And so this is just one giant rising channel that we look to break again to the downside. We look at the 5 minute here. No indication or signal there. But we want to see this VWAP cross to the downside. So the top end of that range, my friends, is around $80,170. That is where I have my limit short order set. Now, obviously, I'm prepared for this thing to completely reverse and go the opposite way. That is a risk I'm willing to take, but I do think this thing is going to break to the downside. And correct me if I'm wrong, but we should start seeing the ETF flows settle on essentially on chain. And I think an hour and a half or an hour 40 minutes. And please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. How's the volume level on the music, by the way? You guys like it or not? Also, I don't have control to skip the music. It's just I threw the playlist into vMix. So we use a vMix software. And so I can't skip to the next track. And so it is what it is. We'll deal with it. Did you bring your Uber driver? Yeah, what was going on? I have no idea what the hell you guys were talking about. And you know what? I'll just keep this on here so we can take a look. I had no idea what you guys are talking about today. Clarissa, I've never met her. I know Ashley said she's bringing a friend in. Never met Clarissa. I didn't even know she was going to be on the show. Unfortunately, I had to do the show from my house. My little man is not feeling good. He's got a fever. And so my wife couldn't take any more time off work. So here I am at home playing daddy daycare to my little guy. And so, yeah, I kept seeing something about driving and Uber, and I got my license revoked. I was like, what are these guys talking about? But yeah, anyways, starting to see a little bit, 79, looks like 79.9 is getting rejected, 79.98. But again, we want to get to the bottom end of this range, and our short has not filled yet. Again, $80,120 for BTC. All right, let's take a look at Curve Dow. Taking a look through the different time frames. See if we're seeing anything on market side for market side for A. So blood diamond here failed, which is why I always say never go based off of one indicator or one signal that's flashing, because you never know what can happen. And so this was a blood diamond. I mean, I guess if you took a short scalp, but even if you entered on the open, the next candle, you're at like a 0.75%, even at like a 50x leverage. I don't know. Not worth the reward, in my opinion, for the risk. So this chart is actually showing strength. You see kind of what I was referring to earlier in the BTC chart. You start to see these moving averages get tight, and then the color flips from blue to gray, meaning it's now in a downtrend. You just got that here. This is on the 15-minute chart. It's about an hour and 15 minutes ago. We flipped to positive, and since that happened, this thing has rallied. Let's see how much it's rallied. Why is that not working? Let's go this way. That's 6%, not bad for a curve Dow. But curve for me is a long-term play. I haven't looked at any scalp opportunities here on curve. We can stay on the 15 and pull up market cipher B. So we are seeing a little bit of bullish movement here from the VWAP. You can see it's inwardly curving. This was a kind of a straight shot down across below the midline to the downside, which would have been bearish. But it looks like we're getting a little bit of an invert curve. So it's curved out, looking to accelerate its move to the upside. Let's get rid of market cipher A. Let's throw on price action concepts. There we go. For this one, so this was about to be a cup and handle. You call this a reverse. All the young kids call it the Bart Simpson's pattern. So this could have been a really nice setup for a cup handle, but we didn't get too far down the handle until price action went to the upside. We did get a swing high to around 53.64, which is the high we had back yesterday around this time. So exactly 24 hours ago, we had that failure to take out this high. And again, this is on the super low time frame, so just keep that in mind. And eventually we spilled off. We came in. We kind of had a head and shoulders here on the 15-minute. Just kind of retroactively looking. There's your left shoulder head. There's your right shoulder. There is your neckline and a break to the downside. And so I think this actually might be a decent short opportunity. Let's work our way to the higher time frames here really quick. Let's take a look here. And so 1 hour potentially, although it's very ugly, could be kind of a, what's a polite word to use? I don't want to use that word. Fuck it. It's kind of a retarded cup and handle pattern here. And so we did get a liquidity grab up here at 53.21 cents. This is on the 1 hour for market cipher. Our previous day high still sits at 54. I expect that to get rejected. And although this wick, we kind of did. Let's take a look at what market cipher B is telling us. We're seeing expansion. Oh, was that? Okay, so anchor trigger wave. Let's see how that played out. And I always like to do this. It's essentially me back testing in real time how some of these indicators work. And so what I'm looking at, my friends, is what I talk about on the show all the time is your momentum wave, a deep momentum wave with a green dot, and then a smaller momentum wave with a green dot. This becomes your anchor, and this becomes your trigger wave, okay? Now we're gonna drop, we're gonna bring this down, and we're looking at, I'm gonna drop a vertical here. And your entry would have been here. So very next candle, open your entry. And if you timed it perfectly, that would have been a 3% scalp times, I don't know, whatever leverage you use. And so not the most lucrative setup for that anchor trigger wave kind of scenario or strategy, but still made money if you took profits at the correct levels for curve Dow. But curve is something, again, guys, from a fundamental standpoint, I would have this in your portfolio. Of course, I'm not telling you what to do with your money. It's your money. You do whatever you want. But for me, this cup and handle looks much nicer on the 4 hour. Also, kind of a bull flag setup here as well on the 4 hour. Oh, this is a beautiful bull flag. Look at that bull flag. So we had decreasing volume on the move down, which is what you want to see. And then this breakout, but again, we need to get above 53.86 cents for curve Dow. Again, I love flags. I say it all the time, but I love them. Well, I guess it was more of a pennant, right? Pennant, flag, same shit. And so a break to the upside. We did get confluence on market cipher B. We got a green dot, and then the oscillators are all pointing up, which is good. And so for me, the way I look at this now is, okay, I missed a breakout here. Typically for me, personally, I like to wait for a retest and then enter. But here's a scenario of if you traded the breakout here at 50 cents, you'd be already be in the money. But then again, more often than not, you get a fake out, just like we had in the AVAX trade. Was it yesterday? That trade was an L trade. Let's go over that trade yesterday. So yesterday we're on the stream. We're talking about an AVAX long, and I think I was on the 10-minute. Yeah, right there. So this trade went completely against us. And so doing a little post-mortem here. And so the other thing too is you're never going to hit every single trade you put in. And so this is what I looked at. This was my entry. It was this retest here. Okay. We'll zoom in here. I entered on this retest right here. I was like, all right, we broke above. We closed one candle above. We closed two candles above. Green candle, enter, and then completely went against the pattern here, which is fine. Broke to the downside. We lost money on that one. On to the next one. But AVAX looks like maybe is this about to break out of a inverse head and shoulder pattern? Let's take a peek. Also, just a heads up to you guys. I try not to have any chart setups ready to go. And sometimes I look like an idiot trying to talk my way through it, but I don't care about that. I care more about, I want people to not only see the trades I'm taking and the making and yada, yada, but I want you guys to see the kind of thought process of going through different time frames, looking at the chart, looking at price action, different indicators I use. So you can kind of catch on and maybe take notes. Hey, I really like this one he did. I really like the way he, kind of went through the time frames. Whatever value you can grab out of it, that is kind of my main goal. And so for me, I like to keep charts fresh. I will have sometimes come in with already predetermined levels. I'm not saying the people that do are bad traders or anything like that. It's just my style. I try to focus a little more on teaching. But here on AVAX, looks like a breakout inverse head and shoulder. And we're probably hoping to get a retest here at, and I'll drop a flag here. Depending on where, now again, these are 10-minute, and so I don't think we're gonna get this candle. Maybe we will, I don't know, but more realistically, a little bit down the line. So you're looking at about $18.20 on a retest, and that might be a good long entry on a bounce for AVAX for a long. And so, but again, it's not something, and you can see this thing it's going to come back down and retest this neckline. So hopefully it'll happen before I end the stream because this would be a really nice trade setup on a long. We're going to pay attention to market cipher B. You see VWAP broke to the downside, and it looks like this thing is starting to flatten out a little bit. Let's go to the 15-minute. 15-minute just broke to the downside. We did get a red dot on market cipher B. Let's take a look at market cipher A. There's your reversal signal there. Nothing on the 15, nothing on the 10. 5-minute now. This actually, this could be a really nice setup for a long. Maybe we'll try to make some of that money back we lost on the earlier AVAX trade. And so we'll see. Looks like we've come in here. Looks like 1825. And I'll drop a trend line here. 1825. Let's go in here. Let's hide our head and shoulders. And let's zoom into or zoom out to the 30. This $18.25 level, consolidation, testing on wicks, failures. And I guess you can argue this one is, this is a nice head, inverse head shoulders. Over the last, what is that? This is going back to about 4 hours ago. Wick fail, break above, wick test. And so maybe the neckline is not where we entered. Maybe $18.25 is where we entered. Do we get that again? I think I'm willing to put in a limit order. Let's double check that. I think, bam, 15-minute. There we go. 1825. Let's see if we get there again. Let's Let's do it. No, fuck it. What do you say? YOLO, right? You only live YOLOT. You only YOLT. You only live twice. So dumb. So dumb. Anyways. Let's go 10. Let's not get greedy, okay? Let's not get greedy. Let's go 10. Limit 25.5 cents because we don't want to get left out on a wick. We'll drop a G-ball on this one. We'll go long. So now we have 2 open orders here. 1 Bitcoin short, 1 AVAX long. You might be saying, well, David, why are you going short on Bitcoin and long on AVAX? I just do what the chart tells me, babe. Chart tells me AVAX looking like a long, I'm taking a long. Chart tells me BTC is looking like a short, I'm taking a short. I try not to let decisions of other trades I have influence, what I see on the charts. And so you're already seeing, I don't know if this is going to get filled. 80,000. What is that? 80,120. I don't think this is going to get, it should fill, but we're not even getting to the top end of, last time we got to the top end of this range on the 15-minute was about an hour and 30 minutes ago. And so should get a bounce off of this level here for BTC. Let's take a look at what Market Cypher B is telling us. Oh, we got a crossover on the VWAP to the downside on the 15-minute. This might be the area where BTC breaks to the downside. So on this trade, what I'm looking for is I am looking for a candle close below and a retest failure. And so again, this is on the 15-minute or the 10-minute, don't matter. Just don't go past maybe the 21-minute. It looks like on the 21-minute, we actually might get a close below. Okay. Let's get a close below here on the 21-minute, but I want to look at the 10-minute. So I'm going to keep it on the 10-minute for BTC. I'm hoping we get we kind of flush down, we break below here, and maybe create a lower low on the 10-minute and around 79.271. But again, I want to get a retest and then enter on the retest failure. And so that's that. But this trade, actually, the AVAX trade might hit. Let's take a peek back at AVAX. 1825. Come on, give me 1825, baby. All right, I'm gonna take a peek at the chat. For those of you that are new here, welcome. Gotta run, gotta work. Work is overrated, bro. Quit your job right now. Just kidding, don't quit your job. Good afternoon. Wonder if you could RWAs even one of these? What? MP, I think I understand what you're saying. Wondering if you could RWAs even one of these. I don't know. If you clarify your question, maybe I'll take a look at what you want me to, but yeah. Shout out to all the mods keeping the chat going. Appreciate every single one of you. Do you make live trades too? Our pod, I do. I do make live trades. Sometimes they go against me. Sometimes they go for me. But if you want the most trades, the most trade setups, and by the way, those of you that are in our Discord, man, shout out to you, because if you guys have been paying attention to some of these scalp and swing signals that we're getting from Buy DeFi, you guys are making money. Well, you say we are making money. And so if you want more trading, you should join our Discord and then get our VVIP access. All you got to do is just create a Buy DeFi account with our link. Deposit $100 of your own money to trade. You don't give us any money. And then you'll automatically be given access to the VVIP channel. We have all of our trades in here that I put in. But also, the cool thing about this one too is you'll get swing and scalp signals from the top, I think, 2% of traders on Buy DeFi. So you only get it by being in this Discord, by being in the Discord, and you can see here 357%, 146%. I mean, this thing, there's a lot of value there. So you not only do you get our trades, but you get other trades from top traders, where normally a lot of these guys you would have to pay money to get. And so you get that all pretty much for free. All you got to do is just deposit $100 of your own money, trade with it, do whatever you want with it. But highly recommend you guys go do that. Tons of value for what you're doing. And so I'll actually drop the Discord link in there. Yeah, Buy DeFi is available in the US, no VPN, no KYC. I think the limit's up to 2 Bitcoin a day, unless you... And I have a great relationship with those guys. So And also in that Discord chat, there's a support where you can put in a support ticket. But I have a great relationship with the Buy DeFi people. And so if there's anything, something ever goes wrong or you need help with anything, I'll be more than happy to get that thing going for you guys. All right, let's take a peek at, looks like AVAX is actually rallying. You know, sometimes I look at myself, I'm like, I hate being patient, you know? But I don't know. Maybe we'll get that filled again. But as of right now, AVAX is moving up. We got a clean break out of this inverse head and shoulders pattern on the 10-minute chart for AVAX. We didn't get a retest of the neckline, but we got a retest of this $18.25 support resistance level, which, as you saw, we zoomed out. Pretty key level on, at least on Wix, and got a couple closes there as well. So if this ends up being a trade we miss, fine. But if we don't make our way back down to 18.25, I'm going to cancel the limit order because, again, this is on a very short time frame. And I don't want to get stuck with a limit order and all of a sudden Trump comes out and says we're going to war with China. I don't know. But either way, something to keep an eye on. So hopefully, before I leave the stream, 18.25 gets filled. Let's go to the Fart coin. Fart coin has just been crushing, bro. Fart coin has been absolutely crushing. I wonder what that chart looks like. I haven't looked at a Fart coin chart. Let's take a look at a Fart coin chart. Why do I always do this? Ooh. Very similar to that curved out chart, right? Breakout of a bull flag pattern. I want to see volume on the lower time frames. So now on the 1 hour, we've had a couple candles. Well, now, depending on how this one closes, it'll be 3 candles close above the breakout, which is what you want to see. But this 4 hour looks very interesting. I want to see that volume creep up. Let's take a look at market cipher B. You see the momentum waves are getting larger. It tells me we still haven't gotten a VWAP crossover though. You see that? We want to get that VWAP to come above that midline to the upside. So this is a pretty sharp turn here, right? You see how this one's rounded and this one kind of spikes up and down. This is a big shift in. It's a big shift, yeah. And from there, Fart coin rallied, 43%. And here's another little tip / trick for you guys, right? Anytime you see the momentum waves, right, with that nice curvature, looks like an upside down booby. Once you see that, you know the trend's kind of slowly moving. When you see a sharp, that excuse to all the ladies, the cone boobies, the cone ones. Once you see that, it's probably gonna have a big move. But again, that's not a single indicator, single thing I see. I'm gonna just YOLO into a trade, but something to keep an eye on if you really want to gauge. Hey, the move, we're seeing a little bit of a breakout. Is this thing real? That'll tell you. That'll give you an idea. And so, but we like seeing this. We like seeing expansion, higher peaks on the momentum waves on market cipher B, and that's on the 4 hour too. And so this one again, I'm not gonna jump into this trade. We already got a breakout. Trying to stay disciplined. Sometimes it's so hard. It's so hard sometimes. We're human, right? We make mistakes. We have our rules, what we do, what we don't do. And sometimes we're like, shit, I think it's going to run. It's going to fuck it. Let me do it. And we end up losing money. And so I'll happily get into a long here at around 70 to 71 cents, depending on the charts and everything else. But for me, this is not an entry on a 4 hour. We can zoom into the 6 hour. Farcoin chart looks strong. And I mean, obviously this thing has, we can even zoom into the daily. Zoom into the daily. Let's clear up the chart here. Look at this, just this beautiful cup and handle pattern on the daily. I mean, it doesn't get much more It doesn't get more perfect than this, right, guys? Beautiful cup, beautiful handle, and a beautiful breakout with a positive retest, break to the upside. My drawing is so bad. You know what? Let me free draw. My daughter would laugh at me right now if she was here. And then I'll do this for this one. So you had our cup, and this is our handle, right? Breakout, retest, and that is what we want to see on the 4 hour, right? Breakout. If we would have bought here at 52 cents, we might have gotten liquidated depending on our leverage. We wait for the retest, we open, we push higher, and then we're good. And so also one thing to note on the daily, this is a potential reversal candle here, depending on how it closes. Still around 2.5 hours left. But this is just a perfect cup and handle pattern for farty coin. And then the measured move should be, I say should, maybe we already hit it. Come with me. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Perfect. Look at that perfect measured move. So pretty much what I'm doing here, if maybe you're new to trading, and those of you that are not new, sorry if this is super repetitive, but I want to be as friendly to new people as I am to people who've been trading for a while. And so what I'm doing here is you want to figure out how high the move can go for a cup and handle pattern. You just measure the depth of the cup. Right, so you go from the top all the way to the bottom, and you move that over to the breakout area, and then that should be your measured move. And actually the breakout happened here. So we might have a little more, and then you see on the top side here, top end of our move, 80 cents, psychological number. Also, this was our last high we had before we fell, 80 cents, got completely rejected and Fartcoin fell. Also 80 cents. You can see what price action does. Chop, 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 support, resistance, support, support, breakthrough, support, and then resistance, big spill off. And so we're too close to that for a long. Keep an eye on maybe a short position here on Fartcoin. We can take a look at market cipher B. What are we seeing? We're seeing expansion of everything, but I do expect this momentum wave to fall short of the last one. So essentially creating, depending on what price does, a bearish divergence potentially. We did get a crossover on the money flow on the daily, which is huge. That's huge. I mean, that's the first green money flow on the daily we've seen on Fartcoin since about a month ago, February 12th. But Fartcoin, I don't have fundamental analysis on Fartcoin. But hey, AI play. Oh, looks like our AVAX position might fill, huh? AI play. I don't know. You're bullish on AI and you like farts, I guess, but I personally don't have any Fartcoin. Maybe I should. I don't know. And AVAX, I think we were on the 10 minute? Let's take a peek here. Yeah. Come on, 1825. Fill for me. Come on, fill. So this is good, right? And this should have filled. Did it fill? It did not fill. You dirty dog. 1825.5 cents. And so it should have filled here. Oh, we got to 1826. Anyways, I want to get a nice bounce. And this actually, coming in on the backside, this looks like it's potentially turning into from one bullish pattern to another, right? You guys already know what I'm going to draw. You know, they call Lifer, he calls himself Sammy Cup and Handle. I don't know what my nickname, Davey Flaggy. I don't Flag, that sounds so bad. Do not run with that. You hear me? Do not. But inverse head and shoulders coming into a bull flag. But again, I want to remain patient. I want that retest of $18.25. Oh, come on. Go down half a more. Oh, I think it filled. Yay, we're in. Okay. AVAX long filled. So let's see what happens. 18,251. For my TP, zoom out, 30-minute. Let's hide. Let's hide you. No, I want to keep this horizontal. That's a good one. Let's hide you. Let's hide you. You know what? Actually, you're a losing trade. Let's get rid of you because I don't like you. Let's get rid of that. Yes. And let's throw on price action concepts. Let's take a look. So we did have a liquidity grab at 1842, 2 of them now. So that's going to be my first TP is going to be 1842. And I know that's not a lot, but I'm taking a little bit off the table here. 1842. We'll go 25%. Okay. 25% there. Okay. Liquidity grab. Expect to push to the downside. The other big one is going to be this large order block we had. It's on the 30-minute. We had around 2-to-1 sellers versus buyers between 1853 and around 1870. But I'm really targeting the level between the previous day high and this resistance area that I had mapped out. I believe it was on the larger time frame, which is around $19. And so I'm going to take the rest at 1887. We're going to go in here. That would be a really nice trade, huh? All right. That trade is in. We are good. Let's see how it pans out. Already in the green, 2.5%. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm going to take a peek at the chat here. You know, it's on a personal level. Hold on. Greg Milligan said, volume is great. I question whether this can wear the moniker music. Unless elevator music. Fair enough. Any complaints, I will forward them to my music guy who created this. And so, you know, though, I will tell you guys, it's really hard to, I know, Toaster, don't repeat that, bro. It's hard to find music that is instrumental, is not copywritten. Even if it's like you have a license, that's why I don't know if you guys noticed, I changed the intro song for the show. Because I had the license for it, but the fucking maker of the music kept giving me copyrights. I emailed him, I reached out to him, nothing. So I'm like, screw you, I got rid of him. And so for me, I'm like, all right, what's the safest way to get some music in there, but also not get hit with copyrights? And YouTube has a creator music, and it's kind of limited. And so that's where he pulled this from. So yeah. How you guys feeling, man? You guys excited? You guys nervous? You scared? I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts here. I try to stay as level-headed, even keel as absolutely possible. I don't worry about what I can't control. I just adjust what I do, what I say, how I make my financial decisions based off of the information I have in front of me at the time. The information I have in front of me now is we're in a trade war with China. A lot of uncertainty, volatility. How do I adjust to those circumstances? Take profits earlier. Don't stay in positions too long. Use less leverage. That's it. Add to my spot bags, projects I believe in. Easy. Put on autopilot, man. Set it and forget it. It's really not that hard. People tend to complicate everything. All right. Did you already hit the like? Yes, please hit the like button. We got 106 in here, 63 likes. Not bad, but... Oh, please do one RWA. Okay, MP. Ondo, Plume, or Mantra. Okay, I was going to leave, but for you, my friend, I'll stay. I'll stay and do this chart for you. Okay. Let's take a peek at Ondo. I like Ondo. I like Ondo. I like the Ondo. Where are you, Ondo? Okay. Which, by the way, for me, Ondo, huge bull from a fundamental standpoint. So Ondo, this is the 1 hour. Filled this gap about halfway. That was a big move. That was a 14% hourly move for Ondo. That was massive. And we had a, interesting. We had a liquidity grab last time That was on the 8th of April, so Tuesday. And then we blew right through it this time. Blew through it with volume, and then we're kind of descending. But this actually might be a nice setup for a long on Ondo. Let's take a peek here. What falls must rise. And so, again, same thing. Looking for breakout, retest, enter. Just like we did with AVAX. Breakout, retest, enter. Which that trade, by the way, is barely in the green. Fundamentally, love Ondo. I think Ondo chain is going to be huge. It's going to be great for their token, the Ondo token. It's going to bring utility to that token. Love what they're doing. Obviously, it's a BlackRock coin, bro. How do you bet against BlackRock, the #1 asset manager in the world? Literally the guys that bailed out the government. How do you bet against that? Shrinking money flow. That's good. VWAP looking across the downside. Not good, at least in the short term. Let's take a look what the 15-minute, 10-minute are telling us. Did get a couple continuation signals here on market cipher A to the downside. Not too worried about that. Market cipher B. Red dot. Fine. Not worried there. 30-minute. This downtrend is increasing on the 30-minute. It's like going to get a crossover on the VWAP. And then the super low time frame. Let's go to the 5-minute. 5-minute, we're about to get a reversal of the trend here on a super low time frame. So don't put too much into that, but we'll see how this is. But for me, again, this could potentially be a good long. What I'd recommend, of course, NFA, not financial advice. Look at the 30-minute, looks pretty clean. If you want to be a disciplined trader and minimize your losses, potential losses, you want to see break above, right? And then come back and retest. So break above, come back, retest this range. Make sure this holds and make sure it's not a deviation, right? Because this was a deviation. Break above, close above, you enter there, you're out, you're done, you lost money. You enter here at 87.85 cents, you lost money. You wait for a retest of the trend line and then you enter. Same thing here, barely break above, you lost money. And so we don't want to lose money, we want to make money. And so we wait for a retest. So for me, Ondo, short-term price action, could be potentially be bullish, but again, anything can happen. But this thing should break to the upside. Should get a nice break to the upside. And and we can zoom into maybe let's look at the 1 hour. I think to me, the obvious pit stop for Ondo, at least the first stop for Ondo, is going to be the swing highs we had, even going all the way back to March 19th. That is where Ondo came up, failed, fell, consolidated again on the 2nd of April. Ondo tapped that 88.85 cent region, and then it ultimately came into a head and shoulders pattern and broke to the downside. And recently, this big move up, guess where it got stopped at? 88.79 cents. And so that would be my TP level I'd be keeping an eye on if you do enter into a long trade here on Ondo. So just keep that in mind. Hope that helps, my friend. But fundamentally, super bullish on Ondo. Guys, I love you very much. I thank every single one of you for joining me today. Hope you enjoy the content. Make sure you subscribe. Join the Discord, man. If you're a trader, join the Discord. We're not asking you for money. If you just want the Discord, it's free. You want the trading stuff? You just got to put $100 of your own money into a trading account. You're not giving anything to us. $100, put it into your trading account and trade with it. Try to make some money with it. You'll get everything you want in trading: signals, scalps, swings, market updates, whatever you want, man. You get it in there. And so it's pretty awesome. Do it. I love you guys. I will see you here tomorrow and on the morning show in studio tomorrow as well. Until then, my friends, peace.